I was in a crazy car accident, right? And it was me and my DJ, and we were in a car accident, and I was like fighting for my life, had to pull him out, car was upside down, drunk driver hit us. And those are the type of moments that make you understand that like life can go like that. And we had just came back from the studio, we were at Too Short spot. So we were with Too Short at his studio, jump in the car, I fall asleep, in the passenger seat. Next thing I noticed is like we flipped over in a car, you know what I mean? Like fighting for our lives.
You weren't even driving though?
I wasn't even driving, yeah. And it's like, I got to pull out my DJ and like try to save us, and thank God we were, okay. And, suffered those type of injuries, bodily injuries or what have you. But it's just to show that like, everything's temporary.
Jallal, my man, I appreciate you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
It. Yeah.
Sure,
thank you so much for your time.
Thank
so
you.
I wanna start off. Tell me about like Jallal at a younger age, and if this is something that you thought you'd be doing today, like back then. Did you expect yourself to become who you are today? Was that a dream of yours or not?
It definitely was. Like I always wanted to do music. You know what I'm saying? Especially like at a young age, like being a teenager. I was like 15, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do music. So I was like, it was definitely a dream, and, it's become a reality. So I'm happy,
So what kind of inspirations did you have growing up?
As far as like music.
People you looked up to?
Yeah. I guess I looked up to like the legends of hip hop at the time. So it was like, you had people like Mos Def, Lupe Fiasco, Common, so the list goes on, Kool Herc, the starts of like music. So yeah, I guess I looked up to just hip hop in general. Like,
so what was it what made rapping seem so, oh my God, to you? Like, what is it about this art that you enjoy the most?
The people, you get a chance to like touch a lot of people. And that was like the crazy thing for me. It's like having that type of reach and sharing, my stories with people. Like that's what really was something that I really wanted to do. Like I wanted people to know, Jallal's story. So I was like, why not, have a great reach. And, it's the culture. It's like what we grew up on. So I'm like, yeah.
So what's your story, my man? Where did it start? How did it turn out to be where you are today?
Man, it started when I was 15, I was in high school, and my song, it's on my new album coming out. It's all about my story. Like the first song is like, it lays it all out, but in a short synopsis of it, it was like 15, playing basketball, just going to school, like just being in high school, just being like a regular like kid, like, and my friend, he was from Queens, New York. So, New York is where hip hop started. So he was like, yo, man, I think you should rap. And I was like, really? Like, why would you say that? Like, cause I wasn't really into rap music when it first started. Like, when I first got introduced to it, like at a young age, I was like, nah, it wasn't for me, because it was like over glamorization of like alcohol, drugs, and like women and things of that nature, and I wasn't really for that.
So what was your dream as a kid? Because every kid wanted to become something.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wanted to play basketball.
Okay,
like
cool.
I was like, I was good at playing basketball, so I was like, that was
like
my dream. Yeah. That's literally what I wanted to do. Like I was mad, because I'm born and raised in LA. I was mad when it rained. That's how much I played ball. Like I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so. Yeah, I mean, he told me, yo, you have a great voice and you should rap. And I was like, man, you crazy, like, and he was like, nah, like, I think you should rap. So anyway.
So great voice in the sense of what? Like, did you like rap on your free time around friends, or how'd this guy know like you sounded good? Like,
just the way I talk. Like he was like, yo, like.
You have a very interesting way of presenting yourself.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. So he was like, so he really liked it. And he was like, you should do this. And, he wrote a lot of raps at the time. And I was like, yo, this is cool. So I took his rhyme book and I was like looking through it. And I always had like an affinity for poetry, just shooting hoops, because that's what hoops was. It was like, you be dribbling the ball. It was like, it's the same way as like a, poet be writing, it's like the same for me feeling, especially like playing ball and then get into that. It's just like.
First time I've heard something like that.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
Unique way of looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you know, I just started rapping, you know. I just picked it up and I was like really good at it. When I started writing, I was like, oh, this is kind of super natural. It came very natural to me. And I was like, yeah, this is dope. You know, I'm gonna run with it. So that's what happened, you know.
And you took this, you started to rap.
Yeah.
What did you have an idea of where you wanted to take this, or was it just like, you know what, I'm gonna spit on the mic and just see where the hell it takes me?
Well,
did you have a goal of some sort?
I guess my goal was at first just to tell my story and talk to people. Like that was my goal. Like it was a small goal. Like, you know, as anybody, when you start something from the ground up, you start from something small and you're just like, let's just see where this, you know, gets. Like, let's just keep the goal very bare and very minimum.
Yeah.
And then people started liking it like a lot. So that was crazy because it's like, people were like, yo, this is good. I put my first mixtape out and everyone was like, yo, this is crazy, man. Like, this is gonna be huge. And I was like, I gotta go for the goal, you know? I gotta
so
go
tell me why does Jallal do what he does every day? Because you keep going back to Jallal's story.
Right.
So what's down there? Like, what really motivates you every day?
I would always put it to life, you know? Life always motivates me. Just like living, being able to like have a next day. So like every day when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, yo, I got like this ability to breathe. You know what I'm saying? I got a healthy body. And just looking at that, like I'm very thankful. Like I look at it and I'm like, this gotta keep me going. It's very simple, you know, it's very bare, but I'm like, that's what keeps me going, you know?
You always been like this?
Always been like this from the
start. Is this something like your parents and put into you, or is it something like when you were a kid, you learned because of something that happened?
You know.
Not a lot of people have that kind of viewpoint.
Nah, and people who know me, you know, personally, or like even people who know me just from my music, like, you know, that, you know, I grew up in a lot of hardships. So it's like I went through a lot of things that like made me to this level, and I'm very thankful to it, you know. And those hardships were like the things that shaped me, you know, like being tested through a lot of afflictions. It's like you gotta like go through that to be able to be here now, you know, and then now you celebrate, you know. So that's what I'm at. Like I'm like, yo,
it's an awesome perspective to have,
man, and I thank God for that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you're rapping, you're starting to rap, you're starting to gain traction.
Yeah.
Tell me where your first big, like, whoa, like big hit, big scenario, something that happened in your life that made you go, holy crap, this is actually working.
Yeah. Man. I would say, you know, being on the road with like Mos Def, you know, that was like the biggest thing for me because it was like.
He was like an inspiration for you.
Oh, yeah. And you're with a rap legend too. So I'm like, that was huge, you know, like I'm with somebody who appreciates, you know, music and art, you know, and life as much as I would say I do, you know, but I can't really, you know, put that on him, but I love it, you know. Yeah.
How'd you build the relationship with him?
Man, it was just, you know, when you're in that organic top field, like everything is just, you know, the story was like, yo, how we linked was like, I put out my, I want to say Unwilling Forte, which was like my third project. So I put out my third project and he was like, hit me up, like, yo, it's Peace, it's Mos, whatever. And I was like, nah, this ain't Mos Def, you know, like I'm not gonna be chilling with Mos. Like,
there's no way this happened.
Yeah. And I was like, you know, just being 18, I was 18 at the time, you know.
Oh, you were young, man.
I was young, man. And, you know, I went down, linked up with him at a show, and he had me backstage. We were like kicking it, and it was like good stuff, you know, good laughs, good friends, good moments. It was just like a good lifetime, like feel, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those pinnacles in your life where you could really relish over like the moment.
So what's a piece of advice you give to somebody who's trying to get into the industry you're in right now?
Man, I would say be true to yourself, you know, be super honest with like all the music you make, and you know, never let anybody steer you wrong. Like if this is something that you want to do, then go forth for it, you know, do it, you know. Yeah.
That's interesting. I love how you say be true to yourself, because I feel like with every aspect in life, that's the way to go, you know. So you're touring with Mos Def.
Yeah.
You're starting to gain some traction for people. Everything's going well for you.
Right.
Was there ever a moment in your career while it was taking off where you felt like you weren't doing as good as you can do, or everybody was congratulating you for your success, but you didn't really like feel like you deserved it? Have you ever had that kind of moment in your head or in your time where it just felt like you didn't deserve what you were doing today. Like you just, for whatever reason, you weren't happy with your success.
You know, when I went to Africa, you know, that was like something that made me feel that outside of my success, it felt like I didn't deserve a lot of things. Like we have a lot of luxuries, you know, and I was in like the nitty gritty, you know. I was like going around Africa and I was just looking at people and not seeing eye to eye or understanding, and until I was there to be like, yo, people don't even have access to like clean water, you know. And I was like, this is really crazy. Like, and at the same time, people don't even have working restrooms. Like these people got holes in the ground. So at that moment in my life, it's like I have everything that I've ever wanted, you know, and alhamdulillah, I'm happy for that. Like I'm like, yo, I thank God every day that I'm like, yo, I'm good. But when I was there, seeing somebody not having those things made me feel like I didn't deserve it, you know. And that encompasses like my whole life, you know, including the music aspect of me too. But I was like, yeah, that was the only time, you know.
You come from a very humble standpoint, and I respect that a lot about you. However, I at least not a lot of people from your industry come off that way, you know, at least from a public's viewpoint. I don't know any of them personally, so I'm not going to judge. But from a public standpoint, it just doesn't seem like that's the kind of vibe to give off. Why is it that you have this part of you that, you know, always tries to remain humble? Aside from religion, aside from all of that, like, what makes you continuously reminding yourself, like, you know what, I'm only human. There's nothing really that crazy about this. Like you kind of called your career as just another job. I mean, you literally call your music projects.
Yeah.
So where did this get installed from?
You know, it goes back to like the hardships, you know. Definitely the hardships. Like, you know, I was in a crazy car accident, right? And it was me and my DJ, and we were in a car accident, and I was like fighting for my life, you know. Had to pull him out. You know, car was upside down, drunk driver hit us. And those are the type of moments that make you understand that like life can go like that. And we had just came back from the studio. You know, we were at Too Short spot. So we were with Too Short at his studio, jump in the car. You know, I fall asleep, you know, in the passenger seat. Next thing I noticed is like we flipped over in a car, you know what I mean? Like fighting for our lives.
You weren't even driving though?
I wasn't even driving, yeah. And it's like, I got to pull out my DJ and like try to save us, you know, and thank God we were, you know, okay. And, you know, suffered those type of injuries, you know, bodily injuries or what have you. But it's just to show that like, you know, everything's temporary. That's why I try to live life, you know, like I try to celebrate all the time. Like I'm always happy in terms of like what I'm doing, you know, like my projects, my music, all that. It's like, I do have fun, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, it's about the people who are working, you know, the people who are going to their job, driving. It's like, they're listening to Jallal, you know, like this is what I want to do, you know, and this is what I do. It's like I connect with the people, you know.
That's awesome, man. What's your vision? Like, what do you want to accomplish in life? What's like a big goal for you?
Man, I guess be the best person I could be, you know, be the best artist I could be too, you know, like, you know, I've done a lot of goals that I set and written down, you know, as like a young kid. Like I achieved all that. So I'm like happy about that. Like I've been in those moments and it's like I've already relived it. So like when I'm there with the person, you know, with the artist, you know, with the producer, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like I'll snap out of it for like 2 seconds and I'll go back to like the young me, right? Like I'll go to the fan me and I'll be like, yo, we're like really here, man. This shit is turning up. Like we're like hype, you know? Like, and when I say we, it's like my, you know, my people, my that I came up with, you know? But my vision is just to be like the best artist I can be, you know?
Define to me what that means to you.
You know, there's levels in everything that you do, you know, as a human, right?
Yep.
And there's levels that you haven't unlocked yet. It's like a video game, right?
100%.
It's like
phases.
So being the best is like going through all those phases and being like, yo, I'm finished. You know, whether it's I'm 80 years old and I'm about to die, or whether, you know what I'm saying? Like I've sold 1 million records or just got a bunch of accolades. It's like, I want to just do it all, you know? Like I still have.
So do you have any specific professional goals that you set for yourself? Or is it just merely like, you know what, I want to live life and just ride the wave?
Yeah, I guess we've reached a lot of those goals in terms of like professional. Like we put out an album, you know, we got music out, you know, we got tours, you know, coming up. You know, we got clothing, we got like everything that we've ever set up. So it's like, you know, when you open this interview, you know, you were speaking about like how we're getting to that level. And it's like, we just, you know, thank God, alhamdulillah, we got there now. So it's like, those were the goals, you know? So
simple.
Yeah, simple, just very.
I love how simple you are.
You got to be, you know?
It's a crazy perspective to have, especially in the industry. And would you consider what you're working in to be the fast lane in a sense?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Yeah, it definitely is. Like, it's very fast in terms of, you know, fast money, you know, fast cars, fast women. You know what I'm saying? It's like the whole vibe. That's the rap game. So it's very fast.
What kind of mindset would you recommend for somebody who's trying to enter this kind of industry to have in the beginning? Other than what that one tip you already shared, like, I'm very big on how you think is what you become.
Right.
So what do you expect? What should an upcoming rapper expect from an industry like yours?
I would say they'd expect like a roller coaster. It's just like very like, you get ups and downs. Like that's what you would expect. Like, you know, it depends on what type of music you make as well too. Like, you know, before this, you know, we were having a conversation before this interview, and it's like, you know, are you this rapper? Are you that rapper? Like, who are you? You know, it's like,
what identity do you roll with? Yeah,
exactly. Like, what's your clique? You know, what's your posse? You know, come up with it. You know, it's the vibe.
Speaking of that, when you started your entire career, you said you liked poetry. Yeah, cool. Did you have an idea of what kind of rapper you were going to become, or did that identity kind of just build into you as you went?
I was just being me, you know? So like, I didn't really have to like, you know, make myself any other way. I'm just like, this is how I am. Like, I get up in the morning, this is who I am. So I'm like, there ain't no outside forces being like, yo, I gotta do this. Like,
that's the beauty of the art, huh? You just kind of express yourself.
That's what hip hop is. It's like, this is where you come from, you know, what set you rep, you know, that's where it started, what borough you rep, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking about New York, it's like, that's where it comes from. So I'm like, that was it for me. I was like, I'm just gonna be Jallal, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome. How old are you now? You're 26?
26,
26. Yeah. You're still very young, man.
Thank God, man.
You got a lot of time, man. Still super young. So when you first started, when you were 18, is there something the 26-year-old self today would tell you to tell to the 18-year-old Jallal?
Man.
I'm trying to take you back, man.
You take me back for reals. I would say, I would just be like, keep going, you know, and just never stop, and just stay true. Like, all the time, stay true. Like, just remember that every day, you know. When you get highs and then you get the lows, it's like, keep going, because there's gonna be that time where it's just like, all you do is celebrate, and then you're gonna be tired of that, you know.
Yep. I want to get into a little conversation with you. Why do you think people lose sight of who they are, especially in your industry? I mean, just in the Hollywood aspect of things, you see that all the time. Like, people just completely lose themselves. What is it? Is it the materialistic things? Is it the fame? Because a lot of people tell me that fame itself is a drug. Have you experienced that yourself?
Man.
Like, the need for that?
You know, I've never felt like the need to be famous. I've always felt like the need to be the best and keep going and keep moving. Like, I've always felt that. It's like, you always got to be, you know, ahead of the curve. It's like, we've always wanted to be popping. So that can kind of go hand in hand. It's like being the best, but it's like being at the best of what you do. Like, it's like, you know, if you want to put into like associating it with like a sport, you know, it's like basketball, you know, it's like football. It's like, you're trying to get the most points. You're trying to like have the best standings, the best type of stats, you know, like that's how we kept, you know.
So you never even thought of the whole being famous aspect, having fans kind of thing?
It just came with it.
How does a rapper from your perspective view the people that, I would say the fans, or the people that respect your art?
Man, I love them, man. I love every single one of them. Like, when I'm doing shows and when I'm doing like, you know, on the road interviews, or like when we're just like chilling in the studio, it's like, you get so many fans and so many people appreciate the work, and it's like, you know, having their perspective of how it touches them, like, that just means the world to me, man. Like, I love that. Like, I still can't get enough of it, because it shows that, yo, I did it, you know, and I did it for you guys too, you know. Yeah.
Can we get into religion a little bit?
If you want to, yeah.
Is that a thing for you?
Yeah, I'm down with it.
You open? All right, cool. I'm a little curious. I know it's gonna be a little different, guys, for everyone that's watching, but it's a little bit about Jallal.
Yeah.
Background is Muslim, right?
Right.
He and you kind of take that with you.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that means a lot to you. So was just telling me like behind the scenes before we started the interview of how like he'd be sitting and doing some tracks with some pretty famous people and have a little conversation about Islam and how things are. And I thought that was awesome, man.
No doubt.
Like I thought that somebody from the inside can come in and spread that kind of knowledge. Like, cause unfortunately us Muslims are looked at in a very like gray perspective, I would say. I mean, a lot of what we do over here at Mogul Insider and even with my company too is just to show the world that, hey, you know, being Muslim isn't like what slows me down. It's actually what wakes me up. It's what gets me going every day.
Right.
So I want to have that conversation with you because other than the fans and everybody that you know, directly impact with your music, do you have a certain goal or a certain agenda? I would say agenda, a certain goal in your mind that you'd like to impact the industry from the inside out? Is that a thing for you? Do you try to do that every single time you have like an interaction, or is that just kind of like you know, on the side?
You know, for like Islam, like it teaches one to have like a good character and to always make sure that you're upright and you're like righteous and you're always on like a straight path, right? So all I try to do is make sure that my character is always up to par, you know, with what I'm reading, you know, and things of that nature, because I always feel that like actions speak louder than words. So
100%.
That's what I try to do. So when I'm working, you know, I always try to
just be you,
be me, and be the best I can.
Always goes back to that.
Always goes back to that, because it's like I'm there in that moment, you know. And if we in the presence of God, you know, that's how we got to keep it. It's like it's about the presence. So when I'm there, you know, if it could mean or do any sort of good for somebody, then I'm like, okay, yeah, then this is good, you know. And if it does any bad, I try to stay away from that. Like I don't want to do anything that's gonna hurt people or just be a negative representation of me or negative representation of Islam, because Islam is so pure, you know. Yeah,
but that's the problem these days. Is people are taking this beautiful religion and negatively like representing it, and everyone's starting to, the masses around the world are starting to think that, oh my God, Islam is just this weird, like delusional religion, when actually it's just specifically, I personally, and it's not because I'm being biased towards religion, I genuinely believe out of studying multiple religions that Islam is one of the most freeing, like open, trustworthy religion. Like it's just, you do whatever you want, here's what you can and can't do, and it's just be a good person. That's literally the basis of it.
Yeah.
So I love that. Take me now. I'm really focusing on your why.
Yeah.
Something we learned recently is a lot of people, I mean, what motivates people is the why. It's not really the how to, it's why do you do everything that you do. So we already spoke about you being the best artist, you being motivated because ever since you were 15, start rapping, you have all these like people you're inspired to become like. My question to you now is, do you have some sort of routine that keeps this mindset of yours attached into your identity? Because, I mean, life has its temptations. So how do you stay away from all this, especially in such a fast lane lifestyle like yours?
I would say like the team of people I have around me, like the team is so strong. It's like so great. It's like a great support system, man. I got people that I can just get up on the phone with and just be like, yo, I'll have a conversation with them, and that keeps me intact. Like having the good friends, good family, you know, just great people that are always gonna be there for you, you know, at this time, you know, that they have on this planet, you know. But as of now, like I would say that's my routine, right? Like I got those people with me and I get a chance to talk to them whenever I'm going through something, and like, but mostly, you know, music is therapeutic for me, you know, first of all. So like if I go through something with anybody, it's like I just get out like, you know, the pen and paper and I'm just like writing something. Yeah, and then I'm just like, and I put it on a record. So, you know, that's the fun times that I get to have, you know. It's a little, I don't need a psychiatrist, you know, like I just get to do my thing. So yeah.
It's so interesting to me how you genuinely have this massive love for what you do.
Oh, always got to, man. I do, because it's like I've been doing it for such a long time, you know. It's been a long time for me, but for people, it's like they just see like the best of it, and I love that. Like you get to see my new music videos, and it's like, you know, it looks amazing because it is, you know, like, so I feel the same way, but you know, I got love for it, man. It's like I said, it's like the best thing that I could ever be doing in my life, you know.
Have you ever encountered rappers or people in your industry that are just there for the fame and the money? Do people like that exist?
Yeah, you encounter a couple of those waste men, you know, like
waste men. Is that what you call them?
I mean that's what me and DJ Moser call them, but you encounter a couple of them, right? But I mean, they do what they do. Like, it never hurts me because I'm like, yo, that's you, bro. You know, do your thing, man. Get your little money, you know, get your little stunting going on. But
is there anything about the rap game you'd like to change personally yourself that you don't like currently?
Man, you know, I would definitely say that I think there needs to be like some sort of, you know, you can't. I wouldn't want to change anything, to be honest. You know why? Because you can't change expression. It's like if someone wants to express themselves, it's like that's the way they express themselves.
But it's changed a lot.
Yeah,
over the past 20 years, 10, 15 years. It's changed.
It does.
The way rap is viewed today, my honest opinion from a listener's perspective, I don't even listen to today's rap because like to me, it's not even rap. You know, it's people like you, for example, I listen to your music. It's people like you. I love like, you know, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, those guys that like genuinely like have rhythm to them, but like today's what do they call it? Trap music. Yeah, trap music. I personally don't dig it. It's just I don't flow with it because I don't find like I feel like the art of rap has kind of disappeared while people are just really focused on only the hype behind everything.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's why I'm kind of curious from your perspective. Is there something, not the way I guess the rap game is, but the way it's viewed? Anything you'd like to come and shine a light on?
Man, you know, rap has always been definitely something different. You know, people always like look at rap as like a negative thing, but I guess there's artists in the game like you were talking about, like Kendrick, J. Cole, like people like that who are definitely, you know, moving like and shedding some sort of like light to the industry and showing that it's a natural, true art form of expression that came from positivity. It's like rap started like that, you know, in New York. It's like during the whole quote unquote, you can call it like boom bap, right? It's rap has always been, it always came from like a positive source. So I guess I would like to, you know, one day be able to like change the negativity like that's associated and gives rap a bad rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like you get people who just, like you said, just the fast rappers or whatever, rapping about things that is always looked at as like, yo, that's the hot thing. So, you know, people might be sleeping on a Kendrick album or sleeping on like a J. Cole album and not being able to see.
Oh, you got people like, you like underground rap?
Of course, yeah.
You got people like Immortal Technique. You got people like Constant Flow. People like that. That's some bars right there, man.
Right. Yeah.
That's real stuff. Like,
definitely.
And then I listen to like, all due respect, if they ever see this video, like those new like, you know, what do they call it, mumble rappers?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you guys even talking about? Like, what the heck's the point of this? And it's so surprising to me how people are so attached to it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the thing.
Right.
And it's like weird for me, like when I'm in my car, I'm always putting like old school like stuff like that. And people
yeah.
Like, what the hell, you listen to this stuff?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, because it's good. I mean, that's kind of like, so it's I mean, I'm telling you from a listener's perspective. I've obviously had no experience from like, you know, the insider of like how rap game is. It's just for me, I feel like it's changed a lot.
Right.
Do you see it going back to its roots, or do you kind of see it kind of just like evolving and turning into this whole different thing? Well,
I definitely see it evolving. You know, I see rap has always been a true form of like expression of an individual. So I definitely like it because I'm like, yo, you can have that side of rap and then you have the other side of rap music. It's kind of like, it could be a free for all, you know, it could feel like that at times. And think of it like this, it's always changing. Technology is changing, right? It's like, we're not on the iPhone 1 anymore, you know? We're on the iPhone 10, you know, and we keep moving, right? So I think there's always gonna be definitely room for rappers like myself. You know, there's gonna be room for rappers like Lil Pump. There's gonna be room for rappers like Soulja Boy, Kendrick. There's always gonna be room for like different rappers to like come out. And I guess that's what keeps it cool though, because it's like it's
like a balance.
It's a balance, you know.
Yeah.
Like it definitely is great because imagine when someone like J. Cole does a song with like a little pump, you know, or like just to see like the difference, you know. From there, then you could judge that and be like, who do you like better, or do you like both? You know what I'm saying? Like,
so out of curiosity, the level Kanye West is at versus the level of some, give or take, some rapper that's been hitting the mic for many years but haven't gotten there. What's the difference? Is it pure luck or is it connections? Like, what's the game you guys play?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely about the music. Like, it goes down to that, because even if you're hitting the mic, it's like you got to make something that'll touch the people and something that they'll be able to accept and that they'll be able to like roll through, you know, and feel a little bit more. And that's coming from experience. Like when I first put out my first album, it did great, right? And then I started giving more sides of me so people can like know my story, right? So when I did that, I started seeing a lot more people, you know, tune in and be like, yo, I really respect and dig the music. Yeah. So I'm like, it definitely is different, you know. I wouldn't say there's any specific type of like formula for this. It definitely is like a free for all. It's like whatever fits you, you know. Kanye is Kanye, you know.
Is there such thing as luck in you guys' work? Like you just happen to like maybe one day be rapping somewhere and some big rappers happen to be there, and I mean you hear stories like that. But what are the chances? Like is that such a thing? Because I've always been curious. I'm like, right, what makes Kanye and what makes like you? You know what I mean? Like, right, yeah, like what are these identities and why is one identity so much more popular than the other one?
You know, it definitely depends. Like for me, it's like, you know, my journey is still going, but I would say it's by chance. Like, you know, God just put it in my way where I was around Lupe, I was around Mos Def. That's why my first album was called Unwilling Forte, because it was like something I was good at, but it was unwilling. It wasn't like I willed to be in those type of situations, you know? Like I was just thrown into that situation and I was like, yo, I gotta make the best of this because I'm with like XYZ right now. So I was always, you know, blessed to be in like certain situations with like the people who have already been doing it for like a long time. So I would have to agree with you. Like there is definitely a lot of chance involved in it. You know, there's a lot of, you know, destiny. There's a lot of, you know, you meet the right person at the right time. Yeah. And then you're able to like evolve from there and just like move on. So I do believe in that, you know. I wouldn't, you know,
it's just a thought. Cause I've always like seen like rappers like that genuinely just come out of the blue. Like they're like, boom. Like, where the hell did this guy come from? Like, who is this dude, you know? Yeah. And then you got rappers who I follow, like, you know, who have good music, but don't really have the popularity behind them.
Right. Yeah.
You know? So tell me, where does God fit in this formula when it comes to your growth?
Everywhere, man. You know, it's always his plan. So I'm like, if it's his plan, so I'm just going to be rolling with it. Just keep going all the time. Yeah. Always, man. It's always God's plan. So I got to keep, you know, giving thanks, you know, and always just make sure that people around me are good too, you know. Yeah.
So let's take it back a little bit. I know we kind of got like this story is like very interesting. Yeah. So first time in like a legit studio.
Yeah.
Take me through the feeling, the euphoria that was kicking in. Like what were you going through mentally at that moment in life?
I was trying to make it, you know. I was like in a point where I was like, we're here, guys, you know. Like I looked at them in the eyes and I'm like, no, we're here right now. And
that's so dope.
That was dope, you know. Yeah. It was like you're in that mood, right, with all your people, and I'm like, this is where we're at, you know. Like we got to make the best of it now. So yeah.
I've always loved rap music growing up. So to me, it's like sitting with you is like so many questions I want to ask, you know, because I'm like, I never like, to me, I always tell people like, if there was a doppelganger on the other side of like in a different universe, you'd be a rapper. Right. I love rap. It's so interesting to me. I grew up listening to, literally that's all I listened to. Wow. You know, like legit, and to me, it's like I still like my music playlist probably got music from like the early 2000s, like 2000, you know, like my newest music that I listen to is like maybe 2014, 15. Oh wow. So I feel like after that, I don't know. To me, it's like even rappers like Eminem, bro, like they lost their touch. I don't know what it is. I feel like they're trying, the industry's trying so hard to keep up with this trap music.
Wow, yeah.
That like people like Eminem when he came out, mad respect to this guy, man. Mm-hmm. But when he came out with this like Kamikaze album or like the other album, it was like kind of involved in the whole trap industry. And I'm like, dude, you ruined it. Like, this is not you.
Oh, okay.
You know? It takes me to my second question. Do you feel like rappers or people in your industry, they change who they are just to stay up and keep up with the flow? Is that a thing? Or do most of you guys stay true to who you are no matter what?
You know, it honestly depends, like, on the person, because like, I can't really like speak for them, you know, in that terms. But I don't know. Maybe you know, if I like throw that back at you, you probably seen, because you're a fan of it, right? So it's like I'm a fan of rap music too, but you know,
you're more involved on the inside.
Yeah, so I wouldn't really be in that point to be like.
Do you listen more to your music or other people's music? Just out of curiosity, like.
Yeah, my music for sure.
Yeah, because you're like making sure things.
Yeah, I'm always listening to my music. Like I'm always in the car, just like, you know, just listening to my music. You know, it's my story. It's kind of crazy. You know, I wouldn't say it's like narcissistic, you know. I'd rather listen to myself tell it to me than somebody else.
No, because you try to improve.
Of course, you know.
Yeah, no. That's not why I asked the question.
No. I'm just saying it from like a standpoint of like, yo, I hope it's not, you know, like.
I mean, I would envision rappers to listen to themselves, because I feel like rappers are the ones that know the least about the rap game, because it's like they're so focused on growing.
Right.
That they don't have time to like sit around and like listen to their competitor. I mean, do you take, actually, curious question, in the business world, that dude across the street is my competitor.
Okay.
Is another rapper a competitor to you?
Not really.
Or is it like a brother?
I always look at people like brothers, you know, no matter what. Like, that's where I come from, right? But, you know, they look at me as a competition. I don't.
So it's just your perspective.
Yeah, they look at me as a competition. When I come in the room, they like, yo, that's him, you know? Like, it's always been like that, you know? Like, when I first came up, it's like, people are always looking at that, because, you know, alhamdulillah, my like track record is like amazing, bro. Like what I've done and came from, because I just never listen to people, you know, because a lot of people just talk a lot of garbage. So like, I don't ever want to be associated to that kind of stuff. Like, I don't have time for like that type of like idle talk. For me, it's just like, yo, can you make music? Can you show for it? Are you ready to score? Like, are you ready to do it? Like, that's how I be talking to people. Like, I'm like, get that play stuff out of here, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're out here to make really good music and make sure that like it hits people like all the time. Like, we come and we make sure that we hit the target, you know, especially since we hitting it with words too. Like, come on, man, you know? Yep.
You really have like deep roots for this, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate someone who loves the art and loves what they do.
Definitely.
It's honestly, it goes to show you what true success really is. Because at the end of the day, if you chase money, chase fame, chase anything, that's like, that'll help you, but you'll get to a point where you'll burn out and sign out.
For sure.
You know, you've been doing this for what, like now, like 9 years or so, and you're on fire. You're barely getting started.
Nah, man, I was on the phone, you know, before I came here, and I was like, yo, we just getting started right now. Like, you know, people just seeing like a couple of things, and it's like, you know, it definitely is a blessing, but it's definitely fun, man. Like, a lot of celebration mode, you know, that's where we're at right now. It's like we got a lot of things to be happy about, you know, to celebrate life a little bit more, because, you know, we're here and for a reason. I feel like everybody's here for a reason.
Sure.
But specifically me, it's like being able to travel and see other people. It's like I was in Africa and I was just talking to some people, you know, and it's like I got fans coming on the streets, like taking pictures with me because they know me. And I was like a trip too, because I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I mean,
all the way across the world. And
yeah. Like, you know, we follow you on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of crazy. You know, that's dope, bro. You know, I was like, I felt it, but, you know, just walking in the streets with like the regular people, you know, over there, and just day to day, you know, like, and being there and just asking them questions, and they're like, yo, India is worse than this, you know, or like Somalia is worse than this, or like them telling me like other places are like worse than that. And I was like, yo, that's crazy, man. Like, I thought this was like bad, you know?
Worst,
like,
yeah.
And they're like, nah, you go to India, it's like overpopulated with like people in poverty. So I was like, you know, I definitely try to keep it as the forefront when I'm making music. Like, when I'm in the studio, it's like, you know, I make music for myself first. I make music for the people out there, you know, and then I make music for people who can really appreciate, you know, life, you know, and they have a good standard of like living, you know. That's what I really.
Have you ever had an issue with your ego? Just out of curiosity, you know, somebody who gets approached a lot talked about a lot. Walk into a room, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah.
Do you ever battle with that?
Not really, man, to be honest. Like, it's just always been there, you know? Like, I guess other people around me always had a problem with their egos because it's like, oh, that guy's in the room, you know? So it's like...
That's so funny. They get offended or whatever.
Yeah, they get offended, but it's like, you know, that's the type of, you know, that's what happens, you know? It's for men, you know? Like, I've always had dudes who had ego problems because it's like, yo, you in the room with me. So it's like, oh my God, you know? Then they got ego problems, but with girls, you never get that, you know? So I'm good, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So tell me, what's Jallal's like 5 to 10 year plan?
Oh, man.
Where do you see your career taking off? So we started from the past, we got you to the present. I was talking about the future.
Yeah. Wow. That's
roller coaster, man.
It's definitely a roller coaster, man. I would say, man, just keep, you know.
Do you see your career taking off?
Of course. You know, it's already taking off right now. Yeah, it already took off, you know, and now it's like taking crazy off. Like, it's just like you said, we just getting started. So, of course, you know, I'm always in game mode when it comes to that. It's like, I'm always in the studio. I'm always in a booth. Like, I'm always looking at the next guy like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always got to stay here. I always got to stay at the top, you know? It's like a dog-eat-dog game, you know? You got to be there, you know? That's why I got to track. I'm a dog, you know? Like, I've been doing this. So, like, I would say, you know, more life, you know, more blessings, you know, more success, you know, and
there's more and more of that.
More and everything. It's like, you just keep getting to the next level. Like, when we open this up, talking about, like, video games, it's like, yo, I'm trying to get to the next level. So, you know, you want to beat the game and get to the next game. So it's like, it's a never ending thing for me, man. It's never ending. It's like, you know, I got it all, but then I get it all again. Like, I keep getting it, man. It's like 5 to 10 years from now, I just hope I'm still doing it bigger, you know, and just touching more people.
26, bro.
Yeah, man.
5 to 10 years from now, you're talking 36 years old. You're still young then. Bro, what do you mean? Like, you got a lot ahead of you, dude. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of doing things at a young age. Like, you view things, you have a lot, like, some sort of, like, perspective of life, and you got time. I mean, hopefully, you never know, but you got time to, like, apply it, you know, like, and really give it, like, would you consider yourself a risk taker?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Non-stop, man. You gotta take risks. I'm a risk taker for sure, bro. You know, I put it all down, bro. You know, and I got it all back, you know, like, yeah, man. I love taking risks, man. It's a thrill, you know, it's a feel. It's like a sensation for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a risk. It's like, you know, bro, even going up to somebody that you may not know is going to give you the same type of feel back. You know what I'm saying? That's a risk in itself. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm willing to take that risk. You know, I took a risk with everything in life, you know, even to like the simple thing. It's like, you walk up to a girl, you're going to talk to her. Yo, you taking a risk right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walk up and you outside, you driving in the car. That's a risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might freaking die. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, I think they said like being on a plane is like safer. So
it's the safest transportation, right? Apparently.
So
yeah, I heard about this recently. Apparently, like, flying is the safest. But if you crash it, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the amount of times that happens compared to like any other vehicle or transform. Like, apparently walking is more dangerous.
That's what I'm saying. So everything is a risk. So like, I look at it like that, man. I try to take risks like all the time. Just getting up and like getting out, that's a risk. You know, I talked to somebody who was like, they couldn't get up out of their own bed at times because they were just like so scared of the world, like what it has to offer out there. So, and they were asking me for advice, you know, and I just was like, just do it, you know, like Nike. You know what I'm saying?
I love their slogan, dude, because it's like it literally represents life for what it is. You just anything in life. I mean, I'm building a cybersecurity company, and we have this brand, and you know, it's big vision, dude, huge vision that we're working on. Right,
nice.
Every single day. I mean, it's this constant battle between me, myself, my team in regards to like, what can we do to get better? What can we do to get better? What can we do to get better? But I mean, the moral comes down to just doing it. Like, that's it. Like, there is no, like, people ask me all the time, like, how do you get this guest on? How do you get that guy? I'm like, did you even try?
Right, yeah.
Like, did you even reach out? Did you even like attempt?
Wow.
Or are you just sitting there like just wondering how things are done? Because honestly, it's really not that hard.
Yeah.
You know, like, life isn't supposed to be complicated. It's just the complicated aspect of it is figuring out things in the beginning. But other than that, I mean, if you had something to add on to that, that'd be awesome. But other than that, to me, it's like just doing it.
Yeah, man. That's all it is, man. You just got to do it.
Comes down to just doing it.
Just do it, man. Get up, you know. Just get up and just like seize the day, you know. Like that's all you got to do.
When did you have any pushback from family at all when you started this?
Not really, man. Not at all.
So you came from a very supportive background.
Very supportive, Like, my mother was always somebody in my life who's just that beautiful person, Like I love my mother. I grew up with my mother my whole life, so it's just somebody that I was blessed to have, and I thank God every day too to be like around her. It was just a great, moral uplifting thing. Like we already came from a situation of being like the underdog, so it was like let's just win. Yeah.
Is she sort of your motivation till today?
Definitely, she definitely is my motivation. She it's kind of, it's beautiful, and for some people it's cute, what I'm saying, to see that type of side, to see such a woman understand like who her son is becoming or who her son has became,
Sure.
So I appreciate her for sure, every time. So, much love to her all the time. And
a mother's love can get you long ways, man.
Oh yeah, and I thank God for that too, big ups, happy.
Always. It's crazy how much we depend on it.
And it shows you that, you might be in that situation one day, raising a little one of yourself, so to you, be your way,
Yep.
Vibe.
Well, alrighty, my man. Anything else you'd like to add on for the viewers that are watching?
Man,
or where can they check you out? For those who don't know who you are.
For those who don't know me, you can Google me, Jallal, and hit me up on the Instagram. It's Jallal. I've been out there, just keep doing it. Making music, making good times for everybody, celebrate.
Apparently you blew up. You're at 1 million now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, my director was telling me like what at 100, 200. What was he at, like what, 200,000? So was it 7,000? Oh, 7,000 when you first followed you.
Yeah, wow.
7,000.
Wow.
That's insane, man. How long ago was that?
That's love. Wow.
2012.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Guys, for everyone that's watching, my partner over here said like he followed him at 2012 and he had 7,000 followers on Instagram. Now you're at 1.1.
Thank God, man. I appreciate God for that, man. Always.
That's
man.
insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I appreciate you
so
much for your time.
I appreciate you.
Thank
man.
you so much.
For real, man. Thank you, man, for having me.
No problem.
For sure. Yep.